So you want to start an RV detailing service, but you don't know what you're doing. This is exactly what I do if I wanted to start my RV detailing service and I wanted to get to my first $1,000 if I was starting completely from scratch. So that you've never cleaned an RV before, maybe you've never done this before, whatever, had clients and you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this as a complete beginner, how to get these jobs, what kind of equipment you need, and the mindset you need to have in order to get these jobs. So to get your first $1,000, you're only going to need to clean between 2 to 4 RVs, okay? So my drawing skills are not very good, guys, but bear with me. You only need to clean 2 to 4 RVs. And the reason I say this is because every single RV detail on average is going to get you between $300 to $500. So that's like a full wash and wax. That's cleaning the roof, that's waxing it, that's doing the tires, everything, cleaning the windows. It's just like detailing a car, right? When you detail the outside of a car, you got to wash it, you have to wax it, you have to polish the tires, you have to make the windows look good. It's the exact same thing, but just think of it as a way bigger car. And by the way, you're not detailing the inside. This is only for the outside, okay? And the reason I say 4 RVs is when you first start off, you can start off with something easy, like you can go and do, like $200, like $199 special, for example, wash and wax the RV, right, no matter what size. This is something that people will definitely pay for. This is actually on the cheaper end, right? But if you're just getting started off and you're scared and you don't know what you're doing, okay, you could start off with like $199, even $150 if you really want to push it. If you just want to get your first clients, you can start off with something like this. If you know what you're doing, you're gonna get up to that for like $300 to $500 mark. So $300 to $500. You're only gonna need to clean like 2 to 3 RVs, to get to that first $1,000. Okay. So how do we get the clients? Okay. So we know that we need to detail the RVs. We kind of know what prices we need. How do we get clients? Okay, this is going to be your next issue. Okay, how to get clients. Before everything else, before insurance, before legal crap, everything like that, you need to figure out that you can actually get clients. Okay, don't worry about any of that legal or paperwork stuff until later on. So to get your first clients, there's going to be a few ways you can do this. Okay, if you're starting completely from scratch and you don't have a lot of money, there's free methods, okay? So that's going to include posting on Facebook groups, all right? This works. This completely works. Posting on Facebook groups, posting on local like community pages, you might get banned for trying to do this, but there's a lot of pages that allow it. There's some pages that don't. But this is actually a free way to get your first leads, get your first jobs. The key to this is that you have to do it consistently, right? You can't just post once or twice on these groups and nobody answers and then you just give up. No, like you need to be posting every day. You need to be posting on various groups. Join as many local groups as possible. Okay, that's my advice. The next thing is going to be going door to door. Okay, so I actually have some competitors in my area that have done this, going door to door. I've done this before. That's actually how I got my first ever job. I just went to every RV park in my area. I just knocked on doors, on door after door. Hey, do you need your RV detailed? Hey, I noticed your RV is dirty. Do you need it detailed? Right? That's exactly what I did. And, I probably hit like 100, 200 RVs, but eventually some guy said yes. I washed it. I waxed it. I had a terrible time. I didn't know what I was doing. I absolutely had never detailed or even waxed before. I did kind of a shitty job, but I got the job. The guy paid me like $300, $400 from what I can remember. And then after that, I was like, all right, I got to get more of these jobs. How can I do this? Okay. So the next is going to be word of mouth. Okay. Reaching out to your friends and family members. Okay. Reaching out to everyone that has an RV. Telling your friends and family members, hey, I'm starting a RV detailing service. Can you tell anyone with an RV that I will come clean it up for them? I will give them a good price. I will give them like a fat discount if they let me work on their RV. Let me clean it up. You could go to people that have a dirty RV that even just doing it for free, just to get some like footage, right, to post on social media, just to get some experience under your belt. This is definitely something that works. Word of mouth is slow, but it does work. All these free methods are slow, by the way. They do work. Paid methods are definitely going to get you a lot, more clients faster. But if you don't have much money, this is something you can do to get started, okay? All right. So paid methods. All right, we're going to talk about paid methods. Paid methods to get clients. So the number one way to get clients from paid methods is going to be running ads, running social media ads, okay? Getting your name out there, putting your business right in front of people while they're scrolling on their phone. This is the number one way to get clients. That's like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, right? Whatever you want to call it. These methods all work. Obviously, you have to know what you're doing, or you're just going to be spending money and throwing it down the toilet. So if you don't know what you're doing, I honestly wouldn't recommend running paid ads. But, we have tutorials showing you how to do that. I actually have a free case study on our website, RVcleaningacademy.com, and I can show you how to get to that first 5 to 10K a month if you're ready to get started and just skip all the trial and error. Check out that free case study. Okay, the next paid method is going to be business cards, handing out business cards. So getting some good business cards set up, going to every single RV park in your area, dropping off a stack of business cards in the office, handing them out. Especially, this goes good with the door-to-door. You don't need business cards if you go door-to-door, but if you do have business cards, you could go door-to-door, give them your card, say, hey, well, if you change your mind, give me a call, you have my card. Or if your neighbor needs it, just go ahead and let them know. All right? So the next paid method, all right? The next paid method is going to be doing, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm having a brain fart right now, but these are the two best paid methods, okay? These are the two best paid methods, all right? So I go more in depth on this stuff. I can share more in the case study. I can kind of show you how this works. But yeah, free methods, paid methods, right? There's more methods than that I know of. I just can't think of it in the top of my head. But that's how you're going to get clients. You should try to aim to get at least 10 to 15 RV jobs per month. That's if you want to make real money, okay? All right? So that's going to be like 2 to 3, to 5 RV jobs a week, which is totally possible. You can easily get to that 5 to 10K, lickety split. All right. Next, equipment. How do we start with cheap equipment? What is the bare minimum cheap equipment we need? See, this is why I like RV detailing, guys. This is an easy to start business that doesn't require a lot of money to put in, but you can make quite a bit of money doing this. So you don't need a storefront. So you need a vehicle, okay? If you don't have a vehicle, don't even think about it, all right? You need a vehicle to get to these RV jobs. You need something to haul your equipment. You can use a car. You don't need a truck. A lot of people think that you might need a truck. That's completely false. You don't need a truck. When I started off with a 2002 Mitsubishi Galant. If you don't know what a 2002 Mitsubishi Galant is, search it up. It is a nasty little car. It's smaller than a Toyota Corolla. I literally stuffed all my equipment in there. I strapped a ladder to the roof using ratchet straps. Yes, I looked ridiculous. Yes, I looked like a freaking clown when I pulled up, but I still detailed the RVs really good. I was using that car literally cost me like $500, okay? So you can get a cheap vehicle. Get a cheap vehicle. If you don't have a vehicle, get a cheap beat up. Get a beater, right? Start getting some jobs. Get yourself out there, okay? The next equipment, you're going to need like a water hose, brushes, and buckets, okay? So you need like some 5-gallon buckets, a water hose, some scrub brushes, with a pole. You can buy these at Walmart or at a Lowe's or something, or auto detailing places. Like you could go to O'Reilly's or AutoZone and get like some auto detailing brush, okay? Next, you're gonna need a ladder. you're going to need a ladder, okay? Why do I say you need a ladder? Some of these RVs don't have ladders, some of them do. And then when you're waxing the RVs, you're going to have to get up on the ladder and, you know, wax the surface to get the water spots off. So, you know what happens when, like, you know, you clean your car in your driveway and, you know, you're using the water hose and then there's, like, a bunch of, like, water spots and streaks on it and stuff? The same thing's going to happen when you clean RVs. So you're going to need a ladder and you're going to need some microfiber towels and spray wax. So you need the microfiber towels and spray wax to buff out the imperfections. So after you scrub the RV down with soap, water, you rinse it off, you know, put some elbow grease in, get all the bugs and stuff off, right? What you're going to do after that is you're going to get up on the ladder, you're going to wax it, you're going to buff the surface, you know what I mean? And you're going to get all those imperfections out, okay? All right. You're going to need some sort of like glass cleaner and tire shine. Okay, so just like auto detailing stuff like I was talking about, you need glass cleaner to clean the glass, and you need you know, like a tire like cleaning product to make the tires pop. Okay? And by the way, I'm sure I'm forgetting something, so, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. All right, after that, optional, you can get like a bug removal chemical, like from AutoZone or something, or Walmart. A lot of these RVs are people that travel, so they have bugs on the front. So I highly recommend that you have that, okay? And, I mean, shoot. Yeah, brush, bucket, you know, water hose, whatever. That's all you really need, guys. That's the bare bones minimum equipment right there. And then the rest you need is like some elbow grease, okay? Like you need to work out there hard. You need to buff that stuff out. You need to, you know, get the imperfections out, everything. You need to work hard, okay? So if I was going to start an RV detailing business from scratch, I would want to get some jobs, okay? The first thing I would do is I would decide to start doing this, okay? I would start trying to get clients ASAP, immediately, okay? I would be posting on groups. I'd be going door to door. I would be telling people. I would start a Facebook page. I would start posting on social media. I would begin, you know, doing RVs for really cheap just to get my experience up. And then as soon as I got some money, I would start running ads. I would get business cards. I would get flyers. I would go out. I would spread the word. You know what I mean? I would start boosting posts, that kind of stuff. And then I would go get my equipment. The second I start seeing some jobs, some people message you, maybe a couple people call you, right? Start doing this first. Try to get some clients first before you buy a bunch of equipment, because you can do this for free. You can get started today for free just by posting on these groups or going door to door or the word of mouth thing, right? You can post on Facebook groups for free and say, hey, I'm detailing RVs. Okay, do you need your RV cleaned? All right. Once you get like a couple people booked, you know, they say, oh, you know, that sounds good. When can you come detail my RV? I would immediately go get a ladder. I would go to Walmart. I would get the rags, the spray wax, the tire shine. I would get the bug removal chemical, whatever. I would just get my stuff together. And the next thing I would do is I would watch this YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I do have free tutorials on how to do this. Okay, so if you go into my YouTube videos, I have tutorials on how to detail the RVs. So just go to those, you know, bada bing, bada boom. You are in business, okay? And if you want to learn how to get to 5 to 10K a month fast, go to RVcleaningacademy.com. I actually have a guide on how to get there as soon as possible. I have a free case study on how to get your business running legit to where you're getting to 6 figures in less than like a couple months, okay? So go to RVcleaningacademy.com to check out that free case study. Check out the rest of my videos if you need help. Anyways, leave a comment, leave a like. Let me know if you want me to make a video about a certain topic. Peace out.